Hello, good evening, and welcome to News Updates on Today Ghana News TV. We are live on the satellite by Twitch for our viewers in Eastern European countries and also on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Today Ghana News TV. We are also on Anchor FM/podcast on Today Ghana News TV. Now, the headlines. NPP commemorates 29-year anniversary. Mahama donates relief items to communities affected by perennial tidal waves in Ketu South. To the central region, girl turned defiled at cemetery when returning from school. We have these and other stories, including entertainment and sports, coming your way in the next 45 minutes. My name is Edna Sabonya. The news is sponsored by Now to the first story. The governing New Patriotic Party has celebrated their 29 years anniversary with a colorful display at the party's headquarters in Accra. The celebration, which was themed NPP at 29, a tradition for stability, prosperity, and continuity, celebrates the party's contribution to governance in the Fourth Republic. Speaking at the celebration, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo expressed appreciations to all the founding fathers of the party, indicating the most valuable man who needs to be celebrated, especially on the 28th of February 1992. That is Mr. Albert Edu Boahe, Chairman Fred Blay, and all other Council of Elders. President Akufo-Addo says the celebration was to mark the history of struggles and the other progress of which he stands in as symbol of commitment to the party. Delivering the review of NPP at 29, General Secretary of the party, Mr. John Boadu, emphasized on the immune progress and starring leadership of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa. He also touched on President's moves towards the passage of Information Bill and also the set-up right of Information Commission. Joining us on the phone is the NPP Communications Director of the Germany branch, Mr. Nana Osei Boate. Welcome, Mr. Boate.
Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What about you?
Well, God's grace, as you can see, everything is like cool.
Okay. Please, can you tell us how significant this 29th anniversary is for the NPP?
Well, of course. My name is Nana Osei Boateng, so there's like no Mister in there. It's simply Nana Osei Boateng. So for the record. Today there is no day which is going to be more significant than today, because this is the day we came into existence. And as you can see, when the president was talking about the formation, how the MPP came into existence, and he was actually referring to our first ever leader, Dubois, of blessed memory. I pray to the good Lord that wherever he is, I think he is at peace, knowing that the seed he sowed has germinated and become a very strong tower of the Ghanaian society. You can't talk about democracy, you can't talk about growth, Ghana, without mentioning NPP. And we actually basically, literally, is thank you to Dubois. And because of limitations of terms and everything, first of all, I'm sorry, I needed to have say a big good evening to all people who are watching us tonight. Without you listeners, and people who are home glued to their set, looking at us, listening to us, this program will go nowhere. So the big thank you is for you to continue to watch this show every time. Listen to whatever is coming because it's only good things that comes from this channel. And yes, as I was saying, without MPP, Ghana would have been totally a different place. I don't know if you're going to chip in or if I should continue.
Please, you can continue.
All right. Today we are celebrating the 29th anniversary of our party. If our party were to be a young lady like you or like, young man, things would have been, actually taking shape and big things will have been coming. So those big things that everybody is craving for is coming. And without MPP, I don't want to go to the nitty gritties of how we formed the party, the struggles we actually encountered, and all those things. MPP is what you call a small gas board. Literally, it means simply a table. You go to a buffet and you see a whole lot of different species, different cuisines on that table. So that's how MPP is like. If you go to war and you want to capture a whole lot of places, there's something we call a cluster bomb. When you drop that, it covers a whole lot of space and it catches even the people that you are not expected to catch. Now, without MPP, there will have been no oil. There will have been no GMPs as we see it today without MPP. So I'm trying to say the things that we've done and leave the things, how the formation and everything. Everybody knows that. But we are going to actually host a program on the formation of MPP probably tomorrow or next week. So that one will be for another time. But right now, without MPP, there is no oil find. Without MPP, a chunk of our children will be home right now as I speak. 1.2 million children onto the free SHS every year. This is massive. There is nothing on this planet which is more better, which is more important than education. Without MPP, we will still have unemployment graduate association. It should have been, it won't have gone away. It's there. All the things, the good things. I'm not saying that MPP are angels, we are God, we are like that. No, it's all comes down to hard work, thinking outside the box, doing the things that people don't want to do. People don't want to take risks. We do take risks, and what we have is what we see today: infrastructure going up all over the world, all over the place. You see how before uh, roads were tarred, and within 2 months, it's like it hasn't even been done before. Those things are all gone. NDC, as we see it, is a party of propaganda rhetorics, innuendos, and cliches. They don't have any good thing for Ghana. It is very good that God actually thought of Ghana and brought in the MPP to bring good tidings to the land that's as we know it and call it Ghana.
Okay. Nana Osebo saying, many believe that there have been too much hardship under this leadership. Can you tell us what we should expect from the country, from the party?
Yes, please. Hardships are all over the world. When MPP came into power, everything was in a mess. So we needed to tackle things head on. We were with IMF, and because of that, we couldn't employ, we couldn't do anything. MPP came in, and within a twinkle of an eye, we were out of that program. Now, hardship today is because of the coronavirus. If the coronavirus hasn't come, because after we put things in order in place and for us to take off, then the corona came. But look at how Nanado and the MPP government has tackled the coronavirus, getting praises from all across the globe. So I will employ my citizens, my brothers and my sisters, my peers, to exercise a little bit of a patience, because right now, as things stands, some people say, well, it is going to get worse before it gets better. I would say that it is getting better already. From like 1 year today, if God's grace, we are still alive and we are doing similar things again. You yourself, my beautiful presenter tonight, you will testify to the fact that things are moving on. So I will ask my people to have a little bit patience. People say fix the country. My brothers and my sisters went out to demonstrate. It's a good thing. It's their prerogative to uh, do demonstrations. Demonstrations without violence is a God-given right. But fix the country. It looks like the country was paradise when the Kufuor took it and they took it to hell. No, the country was in tatters, and he is building it gradually, step by step. So all the things that they are talking about, of course, we need to fix the roads. We need to fix the health care system, everything. Those things, when we came into office, the health insurance itself, the scheme was on admission. It was on life support because there was debt all over the place. Providers were not going to support it. They said no credit anymore because you owe us billions, literally. And so we're not going to give you anything. Now that has gone. It means that has been fixed. The nurses' allowances, teachers' allowances, it wasn't there. It is fixed. Teachers, nurses, all workers who have been working their soul out to save Mother Ghana 4 solid years, there was no pay. That has been fixed. Now you see the roads, they are being getting fixed. Now somebody was like saying, oh, Pokwasi interchange doesn't belong to NPP. Of course, if the former Excellency President Mahama started the work, it wasn't his own money. The money is Ghanaian money. So when Nana Akufo-Addo came and completed, that money is also not for Nana Akufo-Addo. It wasn't his own pocket money. So it means that when that program has been finished, it is finished and it is a benefit to the whole Ghanaians. So we are fixing things one by one, but it's hard work. You can't, it's not a magic. When you have a beautiful wand in your hand and you just command and it comes. So we need to be working really hard. Example, if you plant a corn, it doesn't stand up instantly and produce all the corn that you see. It takes time. So the time that we needed to put things on track was the first step of our coming into office. Regardless of the hardship we encountered, we did marvelously well. But the coronavirus came, and it means that the corn that we put on the ground, it is going to germinate and it's going to take its time and it will bear fruit. So my advice to, or my plea to my fellow Ghanaians, just having a little bit of peace, a little bit of patience, and soon and very soon things are going to change and everybody will see the result.
Thank you very much, Dr. Boateng, for joining us. We are grateful that you are part of our maiden news edition. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much. And once again, everybody watching, everybody listening, God bless us all and take us from this deadly coronavirus and the prosperity that has been guaranteed unto us even before the creation of this earth will manifest. God bless you all.
Amen. That was the NPP Communications Director of the Germany branch, Nana Osei Boateng. Moving on to the next story, former President John Dramani Mahama on Wednesday, August 4th, 2021, told communities devastated by the perennial tidal waves in the Ketu South municipality and donated some relief items to the victims. Our Volta regional correspondent, Dinah Salasi Tete, has been following the former president. She joins us with more updates.
Hello, Edna.
Hi. Can you tell us what the people of Ketu South makes of this gesture?
Thank you very much, Edna, and good evening to our viewers all over the world. The people of Amuchinu, Salakope, Agaveji, and its surrounding villages who were affected by the perennial tidal waves can now heave a sign of relief as they receive some items from the former president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and his NDC party members. The former president was accompanied by Volta NDC MPs, regional executives of the party, to present the relief items to the people. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, in a speech he delivered, promised the people to continue the construction of the sea defense when he returned to power. He donated 1,000 bags of
Hello. Hello, Salasi.
Hello, Edna.
Hello, Salasi. Okay, sorry, we have lost Salasi, and we will continue with the story. I'll call her later, and then we get to find out more about that. Also joining us on the phone from the camp of the NDC is the Secretary of the NDC Germany chapter, Jerome Pan, to speak to us on the recent Fix the Country demonstration held on August 4th, 2021. Welcome, Mr. Jerome.
Thank you very much, Edna. And good evening to all your cherished listeners and those who are watching us from wherever they are. We are very grateful to be part of this evening's program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please, can you tell us how did you see this protest?
Yeah, the project that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama went to commemorate with the people who suffer from the tidal waves tells you that even in the absence of being in the real control of the country, His Excellency the President still has the people at heart. The sea defense wall, definitely, that we started with, if there is any, let me say, political party or people of goodwill for the citizenry within this catchment area, then the government of the day should have continued with the sea defense project, because it is for the safety of Ghanaians first, because at any point in time, whether NDC or MPP, the votes within that particular catchment area usually goes for all political parties. And beyond that, it is about the welfare of the people or the citizenry of the entire country. So we expected that having started a project and then we left office, the new government would have continued. Unfortunately, they haven't continued. Here we are, even in opposition, but we still think that the welfare of the people within the catchment area is very paramount. Without them, there will not be any campaigns for us to get votes from that same area. Without them, the productivity that comes from that area will not be in the country or to support the life being of the country. So that is why His Excellency the President and the entire party believe strongly, and the caucus in Parliament, believe that there is a need to go to the aid of these people in this particular moment. It is not only when you need votes that you go there, but you have to think of their welfare. And whatever you do is to ensure that they have a bit of comfort in the midst of such a disaster. So going in there is not just for political votes, it's not just for political expediency, it's not because that is our strong area, but it's because we have the welfare of the people of the country. And His Excellency the President has done that several times. You will recall when the COVID started, he had a lot of interventions for the people of the country, even though we're not in government. He, together with the entire party machinery, moved from one city to the other and trying to support people. So we are not only interested in getting votes from the people, we are interested in putting the country where it should be and where we belong. And we believe strongly that it should not be about votes. It should be about what we want the people to enjoy, what we want the people to experience as citizens of the entire country. So NDC as a political party, we move in as when it's necessary, even in opposition. And we believe that the government of the day should be more concerned, because as of now, they control NADMO, they control everything, and the welfare of the people is directly in their hands or under their care. But unfortunately, they have slept on that. I am very surprised that the MPP man who just talked about their 29th anniversary was hitting somewhere else and saying that without MPP there is no GNPC, without MPP there is no oil. Even if there is oil, there is GNPC. Let's get back to the people. Is it really getting to where it should be? But unfortunately, we have to correct that impression. You will recall the issue with lawyer Chachu Chikata. It was as a result of GNPC. So if he says that without MPP there is no GNPC, it's unfortunate. And you cannot use, in this whole wild world, you can't use 1 year to discover oil. It is as a result of the investment of the NDC government through Chachu Chikata in that office at GNPC that we were able to get all these things in place. And that they came in, obviously, to come and be the luckiest one at the time that this thing was discovered. So when they come singing like that, it's a bit unfortunate. They should be more concerned about what is happening on the ground. You understand? Let me not divert too much. He was talking plenty about free senior high school and the rest. We all know the difficulties with the implementation of the free senior high school. We know where we are now. Had it not been for the E-block, this year free senior high school, the rate of it being a disaster would have been much greater than what we are seeing today. So what's he talking about? Well, but we will concentrate on the support of His Excellency the President to the people who have suffered from these tidal waves. And if we have the opportunity, we'll comment more on their 29th anniversary of the new Patriotic Party.
Okay. Mr. Jerome, I wanted you to talk about how you saw the recent protest about Fix the Country.
Yes, indeed. The recent protest about Fix the Country, not only, it started from even outside the country. I think we saw some in Spain, we saw some in other countries. Recently, there was one in UK, and then we had one in Accra. That was on the 4th, I think 4th of August. I've seen another one coming up in Kumasi. This coming weekend, I have seen that there is another one coming up in Dortmund in Germany here. My sister, let's be very honest. Why are the people asking that the country should be fixed? Yes, we bring in governments to be able to put the citizenry at a good stage. We want the welfare of the citizenry. But here we are today, things are not as we expected. Ghana cannot turn into Germany overnight. It's not possible. But we expect that a particular lifestyle should be suitable for every Ghanaian citizen. Here we are today, my sister. A bag of cement, you cannot afford it. You go in, a ball of kinky, you cannot afford it. The people are asking that fix the country. The MPP man was talking about road networks. The people on the ground, you see, you sit in Germany and say the road networks has been fixed. Those on the ground, look at the pictures on the Eastern Corridor Road through Jasikai and the rest, and to tell you that yes, indeed, they are suffering it. We look at our healthcare system. He talked about the national health insurance. Ignore that. Let's go back to the system. Look at what we have on the ground. of our healthcare. Unfortunately, with the pandemic of corona, it has actually exposed the weakness of this current government to the entire population. When we created hospitals, what did they do? They refused to inaugurate those hospitals. And now when they got pandemic, that is where they were sending their VIPs to go and get treatment. The poor person, you and I on the ground, cannot access such health facilities. They have come up with the 88 hospital project. Where are they? They promised us that in the first 18 months of MPP in government, they were going to build 350 senior high schools. Where are those schools? We don't even have a single one. We have kids who are sitting on the floors in schools. They are not bothered about that. You will recall that in 2016, in the run-up to the election, His Excellency the Vice President rushed to a school in the Upper West region to go and make a donation of a dual desk when one woman or headmistress complained, who happened to have been the woman organizer of MPP for Wa Central. He went there quickly and did that. As I speak with you, there was a news item carried by a sister station which showed the difficulty even getting common water at schools within Wale Wale. What are we talking about? The government has promised us that they are bringing one district, one factory. Where are those? One village, one dam. Yes, one village, one dam is a very good project that would have put a lot of people to be able to produce things. And once there is a huge production, then it means that the cost of it will come down because and a lot of people can enjoy that. Here we are, they themselves come to tell us that they cannot get meaningful dams out of it, and they have squandered our money. What else do you expect? So the poor man in the country or on the street in Ghana is finding that difficulty. We are lumped up with taxes every blessed day. You promised to move Ghana from taxation to production, and you have come in, and every day there are new taxes. Recently, the few privileged ones who are able to bring in vehicles through the port are complaining, but at least 90% of all the duties that they pay there are tax-based. So they are complaining. You and I who go to buy from the market, remember, when fuel prices keep increasing every week, you might not say it, but when you go to the market, because the market woman has to pay more to bring in the products from wherever it's coming from, the person has to make profit, and therefore the prices of the commodities will definitely shoot up. And it's you and I who are going to suffer it. Today, the government has increased their salaries, presidents and ministers and all that, over 50%. The poor one like you and I, the civil servants who are doing the donkey work for the country to move forward, we are supposed to enjoy an increment of 4%. Now, the inflation rate, the taxes that has been put on these products has increased more than 4%. So the 4% that you get at the end of the day is not even sufficient to enable you survive even for a week. So if the young people are on the street because there are no jobs, if there are jobs, they are prepared to work. There are no jobs for them, and you are increasing your salaries, it tells you that there is something wrong. We have to be extremely careful, because the more the young ones get hungry and get onto the street, the more volatile they become, and the entire country can be set ablaze. So the Fix the Country demonstration is in the right direction. Unfortunately, the government is not attending the concerns of the youth on the street about fixing the country. They are rather telling us to fix our attitude. You cannot fix your attitude. It is the government that has to lead you to enable you fix your attitude. If the road network is not good, do you blame me? Is it my attitude? It's not my attitude. What I do is that I pay my tax. If I happen to be a government worker, my tax is taken as source. If you are not a government worker and you are just a floating member, you go to market, we have value-added tax on every item that you buy, so you pay tax. Now the government gets this tax, you don't go and develop the roads, you rather go to increase your salaries. You have added spousal salaries to the system, where now the president's wife and the second lady are all taking salaries equivalent to a cabinet minister. This is unheard of. It is unheard of. You have ministers of states in charge of who are denying people of their rights simply because they rejected an offer that you were making to them. It's unheard of. So if the people of the country, the youth in particular, are on the streets, remember, this is not the first time. During NDC era, we had people on the street and they came out with their concerns. And their concerns were addressed. We cannot address all the concerns, but most of them were taken care of. In this present government, they are rather asking us to fix our attitude. We cannot fix our attitude if the government does not live up to its expectation. So I believe strongly that there will be many more demonstrations on fixing the country. It is the responsibility of the government to live up to what the people want and how best to ameliorate their condition to enable them live successfully.
Okay, but how would the protests be able to shape our political system here in Ghana?
Yes, the protest will definitely shape our political campaigns and political ideas and activities. Why do I say so? The Ghanaian voter now has metamorphosed from the initial stage where anything was just accepted and going to vote. Today, the people demonstrating, they are not just NDC members, they are not just MPP members, they are people of all walks of life. And if you look at the age group, there was somebody, 76-year-old man was on the part of the demonstration. You could find somebody around 80, an old lady, and you could find people as low as 13, 10, thereabout. So it tells you that the mindset of the people are changing. It is no longer the period where you walk in and then you put whatever it is in packets and give to them, and then they just go out to vote. Now the people have realized that you promised them 350 senior high schools. They haven't seen anything. The villages that we went round and we made promises, the same people are asking that you made these promises, but you haven't fulfilled them. And you are not saying anything to it. Remember, there are some constituencies where the current president was there to cut source for the construction of roads. And as soon as they won the elections, the roads got abandoned. That will change the mindset. And that tells you that it will help us to know, except the few, let me say, card-bearing members of political parties or people who are inclined to political ideas, the floating voter will be a very big base right now to determine who wins the elections and how you are able to convince them with implementation of your manifesto. So we have manifestos at the end of the day which are not implemented up to even 20%, and yet we are on the streets and we are busy defending our political parties and the rest. And it's about time that you find people within political parties to disagree with their own political activities and with their own political authorities, and that will help us moving forward.
Okay, Mr. Jerome, thank you for joining us, and then thanks for being part of our maiden news edition.
I'm very grateful, Edna, and I know subsequently we'll have a lot of interactions and we'll move forward with this your program. Thank you once again, and have a nice evening.
You too. That was the Secretary of the NDC Germany chapter, Jerome Pan. Moving on to our Volta regional correspondent, Dinah Selassie Tete. Selassie.
Yeah, Adna.
Okay, please continue.
Yeah, we sincerely apologize for that technical breakage. As I was saying, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, in a speech he delivered, promised the people to continue the construction of the sea defense when he returned to power. He donated 1,000 bags of cement, 20 bundles of aluminum roofing sheet, 200 bags of 25 kg rice, and 200 bags of sachet water. In a related development, the Assembly member for Amuchinu Salakope, Sylvester Kumau, also stressed the need for more government intervention to continue the sea defense project in the area. He said, with this, everything will be calm and normal without the fear of the unknown. He also hoped that other developmental groups and organizations will come to their aid to complement what the former president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and his party members contributed to the people of Amuchinu, Salakope, and Agaveji and the surrounding villages.
Jita Anyanu. Hello, Salasi.
Yeah, Edna. Moving
Okay.
on in a colorful ceremony with a great display of the Anglo dance and culture, the people of Jita Anyangwi has outdoored their new traditional leader, Togbi Hachu III, over the weekend. The occasion, which took place at Jita in the Anglo constituency, brought people from all walks of life to witness the beautiful culture of the Anglo people. Speaking to the media, the new traditional leader, Togbi Hachu III, pledged his allegiance to the people to protect the peace and unity of the town in order to attract more developmental projects to the area. Togbi Hachu III, who is known in real life as Godwin Agbenyo, is the National Commission for Civic Education Director for Keta Municipality. He indicated that his new position, he will use this position to work hand in hand with all opinion leaders so that Jita and Nyangwi Township will come to the limelight. Meanwhile, the guest speaker for the occasion, Honorable Richard Kwame Sefe, who is the MP for the area, also urged all leaders to rally behind the new traditional chief, Togbi Hachu III, so that there will be a peaceful reign in the township. Hello, Edna. So that's all we have for now from the Volta region. Back to you, Edna.
Okay, that was our Volta regional correspondent, Dinah Salasi Pepe. Moving on to Central Region, a class 3 people at Ejumako Assassin BA Basic School in the Ejumako and Yan Esian districts in the Central Region has been dragged and defiled by unidentified person at the cemetery at Ejumako Edriao when returning from school with her classmates on Wednesday around 2:30 p.m. Information gathered by Wafasami, regional correspondent of Today Ghana News, has revealed that the 10-year-old class 3 pupil and her colleagues were returning from school when the unidentified man in his 30s called her for a directions which they would pass through a cemetery to the destination he was going. And upon reaching to where he was going, he dragged the 10-year-old girl to a cemetery and defiled her till blood started oozing from her. In an interview with the Today Ghana News, the class 3 people named with help explained that the unidentified man called her for a direction which he forcefully dragged her to a cemetery at Ejumako Edriao, covered her mouth and threatened to kill her if she shouted and defiled her. The victim then added that after spending some time at the cemetery, she then went home with blood still oozing from her private part. The father of the victim, who is a pastor, also added to it that he was on his way to Breman Esikuma when he got a distress call that he should stop whatever he was doing and return home. According to the victim's father, he was directed to the Ejumako Government Hospital only to find out that his 10-year-old child has been defiled and have been admitted at the hospital with blood oozing from her. The father then reported the incident to the Ejumako District Police Command for an investigation. Meanwhile, Ejumako police are manhunting the suspect. Lastly, the victim's mother, Gloria Mensa, also appealed to the police to do a massive investigation to arrest the suspect to seek justice for her daughter.
Mamma nene mamma di me ked no hospital. Sit no time no all swallow net the kind of na say.
The baba no wa fa ne nada. Mbra bo mo upon school. 12:30 to 1. One nada. Nti your hospital was na anɛsefo no wɔyɛ dɛn wɔhwɛ no aberante no a ɔyɛ saa de ne de ɛhu ne nim ba yɛhu sɛ abɔfra no a abɔfra nso wohu na ɔbɛyɛ dɛn ɛhu so yɛakɔbɔ amane yɛkɔ ɔtwerɛ yɛnum asɛm nti wɔtwerɛ yɛnum asɛm no mama yɛn krataa na yɛde yɛ dɛn yɛde ba hospital hɔ nti yɛde ba hospital hɔ no na doctor ɔhwɛ no wohu sɛ ɛyɛ nokware sɛ abɔfra no obi ne nada.
Henry Jaba Memorial Foundation, a humanitarian organization, has organized a 2-day event dubbed the Ability Fair to exhibit the artwork of persons with disabilities. The fair, which happens to be the maiden edition, was in partnership with the Joseph Assignment Global Initiative, Cowell, Access Bank, Fidelity Bank, Pathologist Lanches Laboratories, Kolebu, and Mikado Pharmacy Limited. The event, dubbed Creating Opportunities for Persons with Disabilities, took place on Friday 30th and Saturday 31st July, with side attractions of health screening by Lanches Laboratories, bouncing castle fun, games, etc. The executive director of the Henry Jaba Foundation, Madam Otiko Afisa Jaba, said the fair is very important because it is aimed at creating opportunities for people living with disabilities. According to her, disability is not an inability. Hence, God has blessed persons with disability talents which everyone needs to support. On his part, Assistant Director at the Department of Social Welfare, Mr. Seth Apieje, said the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection is putting measures in place to vacate children and persons with disabilities from the major streets in the country. He urged parents who send their kids to the street to beg for alms to put an end to it. Meanwhile, President for Center for Employment for Persons with Disability, Alexander Kojo Tete, expressed gratitude, saying the fair will serve as an opportunity for the individuals to showcase their goods and talents to the world. He emphasized that the fair will extend to every length and breadth of the country. He, however, urged the public to patronize goods made by persons with disabilities and support them in entrepreneurship because they all have potential to live a meaningful life. Now, moving on to some entertainment news. Ghanaian international reggae singer Shashamale has advised up-and-coming musicians to first get better education even before venturing into music. Speaking in an exclusive interview with Joyce Ohiniwa Kwapon, the host of Empowerment Hour on Today Ghana News TV, he calls on the youth to go to school.
Light, some are losing hope, some feel that they cannot reach that level because they are not getting the needed support that they feel they should have. Any short message for them, after which we will take a few lines from you and then we'll call it a night.
Well, you see, like I said, music is not about copy doing. Music is talent.
Okay.
So first of all, what I will urge every up and coming artist, you see, my request is go to school, go back to school. Make sure you get into education. You know, education is the key. If you don't go to school to acquire knowledge, you get to a point in time, the business part of the show, you need to be able to read your own contracts and understand your contract before you call in a lawyer. You understand? So go to school. If you're born to be a musician, nothing can stop you. Nothing and nothing can stop you to be a musician. You know? So education first. Education. Go to school, acquire knowledge, and then if you're born to be, you will be.
Wow. Thank you so much.
That is the only advice I can give to anybody who wants to be in music.
Wow.
Because I cannot force anybody to come into music. Music is grace. Music is talent. So first of all, go to school. If you are born to be a musician, you will be.
Wow.
You know, I see a lot of people doing music, and I can tell that they were probably born to be teachers, they were born to be medical doctors, they were born to be lawyers, but why are they into music? You know, if you're born to be a musician, you will be. I cannot force my children to be musicians because I'm a musician. If they're born to be musicians, they will be. So go to school. Go to school. Education first.
Wow, thank you so much,
Okay, that will be all for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Edna Sagonya. You can still log on to our social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter on Today Ghana News TV. Enroll your daughter or sponsor a less privileged girl in your area or constituency at the Links Cosmetology Training Institute to acquire skills in makeup, Brazilian waxing, haircuts, and more for free training. They also export Brazilian waxing and haircuts to customers in Europe, USA, and Canada. Call them on 0557 089324, Instagram and Facebook at The Links. You can locate them near Chanta Market, Accra on the Alaji Road. You can also contact Agbozo Herbal Clinic on 0557 402 696. Those are our sponsors for tonight's news. Thanks once again for tuning in.